5-minute Fridays. I am just about to start my 5-minute workout. For today, you will not need any exercise equipment whatsoever to follow along with this workout. However, we are doing push-ups. So if you do push-ups from your knees, you are going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. And of course, if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. There are just 2 exercises. The first one is push-ups. So let's just start by going over the proper form for your push-ups. There are 3 bullet points that I want you to keep in your mind the whole time. The first bullet point, you want to keep your head in line with your spine. So first of all, if you imagine that you are standing with your back up against a wall, feel like you're just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, and that's where you want your head to be, just perfectly straight up and down in line with your spine. And you want to maintain that head position the entire time you're doing your push-ups. It's very common that people will let their head kind of bob up and down while they're doing their push-ups, or as they fatigue, they'll just kind of let their head hang down. You don't want to do that, so do your best to keep your head in line with your spine. That's your first bullet point. The second bullet point, shoulders away from the ears. And your third bullet point, you want to keep a flat back. So we're trying to avoid an arch in the back. So let me just show you what that all looks like when you apply it during the push-up. So we're obviously going to be down here in our plank position. If you can't do push-ups from your toes, don't worry, I will be providing beginner modifications for both of these exercises and impact-free modifications as well. So if you can't be jumping around, if you have bad knees or downstairs neighbors, don't worry, beginner modifications are forthcoming. So if you are doing your push-ups from your toes, you want to start, first of all, whether you're doing push-ups from your toes or your knees, start by really spreading out all 10 fingers. Place your hands on the floor or the ground right underneath your shoulders, and then step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. So here's where you want to make sure that you're not allowing your head to droop down towards the mat like this. All right, so head in line with the spine. You don't need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and jutting your chin out. You just want your head in line with your spine, and then you want it to stay there. Next bullet point, shoulders away from the ears. So what that means is that a lot of times, and especially as people fatigue, the temptation is going to be to kind of sink down into your shoulders like this. So you fix this by actively pressing the ground away from you. So again, you're spreading out all 10 fingers, and you want to make sure that you're visualizing actually pressing the ground away from you so that you're pushing yourself up as high as you can in that plank. So you see that we went from here, shoulders hunched up by the ears, to now pressing the ground away, up nice and high in that plank, and my shoulders are away from my ears. And the third bullet point is you want to make sure you have a flat back. So again, it's a very common mistake that people will allow their hips or their belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this. That's causing an arch in my back, and we don't want an arched back, we want a flat back. So the way to fix that is to really, really engage your entire core. So if you imagine that someone's about to come along and punch you as hard as they can in your stomach, think about how you would brace for that impact. That is how tight your ab muscles need to be, and you want to use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high. All right, so if you find that your hips or your belly are kind of drooping down towards the mat like this, you're going to tighten up your ab muscles, use your ab muscles to lift your hips up high and keep them lifted high. Don't worry too much about lifting your hips too high. All right, so if your hips are slightly elevated like this, that's not the end of the world, because in this position, my back is still flat. So with your hips slightly elevated, you're not going to hurt yourself doing the push-ups that way, and it will actually make the push-ups just a little bit easier, so don't worry about it too much. I would rather have your hips slightly elevated with a flat back than to have your hips drooping down and have an arch in your back. All right, ideally what you're going for is one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So you don't want your hips up here, but don't worry about it too much. What you really want to avoid is the opposite, an arched back, okay? So tighten up your abs, use your ab muscles to lift your hips high, press the ground away from you, head is in line with the spine, shoulders are away from the ears, and your back is flat. What you're going for is one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. And really, if you think about it, your straight line is from your heels all the way to the crown of your head, because your head should be perfectly in line with your spine the entire time. Once you have found that beautiful plank position and your body's in one perfectly straight line, you want to make sure that nothing moves. So again, you want to keep your head in line with your spine. You don't want to let your head bob up and down, and you want to keep your back flat. So make sure you keep those abs super strong and tight and engaged the whole time, and keep your hips lifted high, keep your back flat. So if you think of your body as literally being a plank of wood, so from this is my heels and this is my shoulders. If you really think of your body as being like literally a 2x4, and you're just lowering it to the ground and then pressing it back up, that's the visual you want to have in your head. But from here to here can't move. I can't bend this. It's not going to sway. It's not going to curve or arch. Okay, so really have that visual so that your body stays in that one perfectly straight line. You're bending your elbows. You're lowering your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line. So you may or may not be able to get your chest all the way down to the mat. That's fine. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, you have two options. Option number one, put your knees down and start doing knee push-ups. Option number two, just shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only get your chest this close to the mat without lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat to compensate, which is a very common mistake. So that's why we want to make sure we're keeping our back flat, keeping that straight line unbroken from your heels to your shoulders. Another really common mistake that people will make if they are unable to get their chest all the way down to the mat, the temptation is going to be to compensate by lowering your forehead down to the mat. All right, but again, you want to make sure that your head stays in line with your spine. Again, it's a really common mistake, so don't beat yourself up if you're doing it. I think most of the times when people make that mistake, it's done on a subconscious level because you're just trying so hard to get all the way down. So if you can't get your chest all the way down, you're just trying to reach the mat with whatever body part you can. But it's your chest and your chest only that you're trying to actually touch down to the ground. All right, so the important part is that you maintain that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. Okay, so your goal is to touch the mat with your chest, but your objective is to maintain that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So only touch your chest down if you can do so without breaking that straight line. If you can't, then you're just going to shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only come down, get your chest this close to the mat without breaking that straight line from your heels to your shoulders, then you're going to stop here. And then you're going to press the ground away from you, push yourself back up into your nice high plank and return to your starting position, and that's your push-up. It is absolutely fine to shorten up your range of motion. What's not fine is to compensate for the fact that you're not getting your chest all the way down by arching your back and lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat, or by lowering your forehead down to the mat, okay? So the important thing is your bullet points. All right, just keep reminding yourself as you're doing your push-ups, head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back. And if you are doing the push-ups from your knees, it is the exact same exercise. Literally the only difference is that your knees are on the mat. Okay, so again, you're going to start by spreading out all 10 fingers. Place your hands on the mat directly underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. And now right where your knees are, you're just going to bend them. That's where your knees go. All right, so that now instead of my straight line going from my heels to my shoulders, my straight line is from my knees to my shoulders. But other than that, everything else is exactly the same. Same bullet points, same mistakes that people commonly make, and the same fixes for them. Okay, so you want to keep your head in line with your spine. Don't let your head drop down like this. Don't overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. Head in line with the spine, and then your head stays still. You're not bobbing your head up and down while you're doing your push-ups. Shoulders are away from the ears, so you're not sinking down into your shoulders like this. You're pressing the ground away from you, pushing yourself up nice and high, and your back is flat. So you are not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this, causing an arch in your back. You're tightening up those abs, using your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high. And now from here, now that you've found this perfectly straight line from your knees all the way to the crown of your head, nothing moves. You're just bending your elbows and lowering your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. And then you're pressing the mat away from you to return to your starting position. And the same caveat applies, okay? So if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, you're just going to shorten up your range of motion. A little baby push-up is fantastic if that's the best you can do, okay? Your best is always phenomenal. If you're out here putting in the work and doing your best, I can't ask for anything more than that. And neither can you, all right? Remember that your best is always good enough. So let your best be good enough. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, that's fine. Just shorten up your range of motion, okay? But what you don't want to do, if you are unable to get your chest all the way down to the mat without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, you don't want to compensate for the fact that you're not getting your chest all the way down to the mat by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. You don't want to compensate for the fact that you're not getting your chest all the way down by lowering your forehead down to the mat, okay? Keep your body in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders, and if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, just shorten up your range of motion. Get your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, and once you've reached that point, you're going to stop there, press the ground away from you, push yourself back up, nice and high, return to your starting position, and that's your push-up, all right? Now, if you have really bad knees and you cannot get down onto the mat to do knee push-ups, please let me know in the comments, and I am more than happy to show you standing push-up modifications that I promise you can do. You can absolutely do push-ups, even if you think you can't, because the only beginner modification for push-ups you know of is knee push-ups, and you can't get down on your knees. You can still do push-ups, okay? There are ways to do push-ups from a standing position, and I'm more than happy to show those to anyone who needs to see them. So if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond just a standard knee push-up, please just ask. I'm always here to help. But that is our first exercise, just standard push-ups, either from your toes or from your knees. Now keep in mind that if you are a beginner, not all beginners are automatically at the same level just by virtue of the fact that they're beginners. So just because you're a beginner doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot do push-ups from your toes. A lot of beginners can do push-ups from their toes. So don't be afraid to try. Obviously, be smart, be safe, listen to your body. You need to be working to your own level, so please don't push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do, but also don't sell yourself short. I want you to challenge yourself. So maybe you're not going to be able to do all of the push-ups from your toes, but maybe you can do the first few push-ups from your toes and then drop to your knees. All right, so just make sure that you're pushing yourself. The whole workout is so short, it's only 5 minutes long. So again, listen to your body, all right? You need to make sure that you're working to your own level. I don't want anyone getting hurt, but don't necessarily think that you cannot do push-ups from your toes just because you are a beginner, okay? Maybe you can try to do the first couple from your toes, and then you can always switch to your knees if that gets too difficult. But that's it. That is our first exercise with your beginner modification. The next exercise, it's the only other exercise there is. There's only 2 exercises. We've done these many times before, but it's been a minute. We're going to be jumping, so if you can't jump, just stick around for a minute because I will be providing an impact-free modification for you. But this is basically just a jumping jack with your hands clasped behind your head. So I always call that a prisoner jack. It's like a jumping jack, but your hands are clasped behind your head like a prisoner. So you're just jumping your feet in and out like this, okay? So we're going to add a little oblique twist, a little knee crunch. So you're going to start with your feet wide apart. You're going to jump them in and out. And now before you jump your feet back in, you're going to do a little twist. So you're going to transfer your weight into one foot. You're going to pick up the other leg, bend the knee. And as you do that, you're going to twist your body thoracically and bring your opposite elbow to meet your knee. Okay, then return to your starting position, and that's 1 rep. We're alternating sides for the oblique twist with each rep. So with your next rep, you'll jump the feet in and out, and then you'll shift your weight to the opposite foot, pick up your other foot, bend the knee, twist your body thoracically, bring the opposite elbow to meet the knee, and then return to your starting position. So really feel that crunch in your oblique, really twist, work that twisting motion. Lift the knee as high as you can and really work as hard as you can to actually touch elbow to knee. You may not touch elbow to knee, but that's what you're going for, okay? So really work hard to get elbow to knee. All right, so let's put a couple of reps together a little bit faster so that you can see what it's going to look like. So starting with your feet wide apart, hands clasped behind your head, and you're going to jump the feet in and out, oblique knee twist. In and out, lift the opposite knee, twist the body thoracically, bringing knee to elbow. In, out, twist, in, out, twist. All right, and that's it. Those are the only 2 exercises. Now here's the format. I am going to set my interval timer for 10 30-second intervals. So 30 seconds times 10 rounds, that's our 5 minutes. Now here's how it's going to work. There's no designated rest interval. It's a super short workout, only 5 minutes. So we're going to do our best to just keep moving through the entire 5 minutes and not rest at all. But please remember that I don't want you pushing yourself into doing anything that your body's not ready for. You need to be working to your own level. So make sure you're going at your own pace and make sure you are taking rest breaks if you need to. So I want you to challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. If you do need to pause and rest, take a few breaths, fine. You want to challenge yourself to get back into the workout as quickly as possible, but you only want to continue once you feel that you have regained enough strength and that you have enough stamina so that you are capable of continuing with good form. Okay, so again, please, especially if you're working out along with the video, it's really important that you're going at your own pace and working to your own level. So modify the exercises as needed, take rest breaks as needed, and please do not push your body into doing anything it is not ready to do, and do not sacrifice your form for speed, okay? But what we're going to do is 30-second intervals times 10 rounds. So with my first 30-second interval, I'm going to begin by doing 1 push-up. And it could be any push-up variation you want. If you're really advanced and you want to challenge yourself, you don't have to just do a standard push-up. You can do something more challenging. You can add weight. It can be any push-up variation you want, okay? So 1 push-up. And then with the remainder of that 30-second interval, you're gonna get right up as quickly as you can and start doing our prisoner jacks with an oblique knee crunch. And you'll do as many reps of that exercise as you can before that first 30-second interval is complete. As soon as the timer beeps, that is the start of our next 30-second work interval. There are no rest intervals, so we're going right into the next work interval. So with the next work interval, you're going to start with 2 push-ups. Then you'll get up and you'll use the remainder of that 30-second work interval to do as many reps of prisoner jacks as you can. Oh, I need to show you your impact-free modification. I'll do that as soon as I finish explaining the format. But I think you see where this is going, okay? So that's our first 2 work intervals. Then with the next work interval, you will immediately get down on the mat and do 3 push-ups, and then you'll get right back up and fill the remainder of that 30-second interval with as many reps of prisoner jacks with an oblique knee twist as you can. And then with the next work interval, you'll start with 4 push-ups and so on, okay? So the goal, so there are 10 30-second intervals. The goal is to, once you get to that 10th interval, be able to fit in all 10 push-ups within that 30-second interval, and hopefully even have time to get up and do a couple of reps of prisoner jacks, but that may not happen. So that's what you're working towards. But if you kind of max out prior to that, okay, so let's say you get to the 7th interval and you do 7 push-ups, but then you have no time left in that 30-second work interval for your prisoner jacks, that's fine. The next interval, you're just gonna immediately get up, you're gonna skip your push-ups for that next interval, and you're just going to do your prisoner jack with an oblique knee twist for the entire 30-second interval. And then for the next work interval, you're going to start working backwards. So you maxed out at 7 push-ups. With the next interval, you'll do 6 push-ups. And then you'll fill the remainder of that work interval, if there's time, with your prisoner jacks. And then with the next work interval, you do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 push-ups, okay? So as soon as you max out, meaning that you filled the entire 30-second work interval with push-ups and you didn't have time to do any prisoner jacks, then the next interval, you're just gonna do prisoner jacks. You're gonna do 0 push-ups and do all prisoner jacks. And then you're gonna start again with the next interval doing push-ups and prisoner jacks, but you're going to start deducting 1 push-up per interval. Make sense? We have done this format before, but it's been a minute. I really like this format though. I think it's really super challenging. So this is gonna be a very, very tough 5 minutes. Just do your best. Now, I did forget to show you your impact-free / beginner modification for the prisoner jacks. So if you can't jump, here's what you're going to do instead. You're going to start with your feet together, and you're going to step. So instead of jumping your feet out and in at the same time, you're going to step them out and in. All right, so when I do a jumping jack, when my feet are wide apart, they're flat on the ground. But when we do this modified version and we're just stepping the feet out, you're not gonna have your foot flat on the ground. You're just gonna have the toes on the ground, okay? But other than that, it's the same thing, except instead of jumping the feet out and in at the same time, you're stepping them out and in one at a time. So then you're going to add your little oblique twist. So what you're going to do is step the foot out, and you can reach across, you can add a punch, or you can keep your hands on your hips or behind your head, it doesn't matter. The important part is that you're going to step the foot out, and then you're going to do your oblique crunch. So this foot that's extended to the side, you're going to pick up this foot, bend the knee, and as you do that, you're going to twist your body thoracically and do your best to bring your opposite elbow to touch that knee. Then you'll step the foot back in and repeat on the other side. So step the other foot out, twist, bringing knee to elbow, and then step it in. So now if you want to add an upper body component, you can swing the arm to the side. So as you step that out, step this foot out, you can swing the other arm to the side and then do your twist. You can add a punch, so you can punch if you want to do something with a little more oomph. Step it in, punch, twist, and step it in. That can work. Or you can just have your hands on your hips, step out and in, step out, crunch, and bring it in. You can have your hands behind your head, which is what I was doing. Step out and crunch, bring it in, out, crunch, and in. Okay, so those are some options for you. I will probably just keep my hands clasped behind my head, because if I'm gearing this version of the workout towards absolute beginners, I don't want to overcomplicate things, and it's the most similar to what I was doing. But if you feel confident adding an upper body component, I think adding a little punch is a great idea. Okay, so that's an option. You can hold on to some light weights if you want. If you have like 1 or 2 or 3 pound dumbbells, or you can grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles. That would be a great way to add difficulty as well. So you could grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles, fill them with water, or you could fill them with something like uncooked rice, dried beans, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. So if you're a beginner, some nice light weights could really add a lot of difficulty while you're doing this, so that you are taking away the jumping component, but you're adding a little bit of difficulty with the upper body. So that might be a nice balance. Maybe you're not an absolute beginner, but you just can't jump. So maybe something like this is a little too easy for you. Then you can add weight and add a little punch. That's a great option to have. All right, but okay, so that's all of the exercises that we're doing with your beginner/impact-free modifications. I've already explained the format, so hopefully I have covered everything. Please, just one final reminder that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. So it may have sounded a little bit confusing when I was explaining it, but just remember that I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. I'm going to do both versions of the workout right along with you. I'm going to do the beginner/impact-free version of the workout with you first, and then I'm going to do the more advanced version of the workout. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications or impact-free modifications beyond what I have already explained and demonstrated, I am right here to help. So please just ask. It's really important that you understand what it is that you're asking your body to do. So you really need to make sure you understand the movement and understand how to do each of these exercises with the correct form before you begin the workout. And you guys know it's incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Please remember, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to go at your own pace and mind your form. Please be smart, be safe, listen to your body, make sure you are working to your own level, and make sure you're not sacrificing your form for speed. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and do this 5-minute workout with me, if you are doing knee push-ups, again, you're going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath your knees. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If not, maybe a towel. Again, if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. I'm going to be wearing fitness gloves because I'm doing the push-ups from my toes, but I'm working out on this concrete and I'm not going to be using my mat. So the fitness gloves make it a lot more comfortable for me. So if you have a pair of fitness gloves, I strongly recommend grabbing those as well. But if you don't have fitness gloves, you can use the mat so that you have a little bit of protection underneath your hands just to make the push-ups a little bit more comfortable, or you can use a folded up towel or something like that. So go ahead and gather whatever equipment you might need for this workout. A mat, fitness gloves, and then you can pause the video, meet me right back here. We're going to do a quick 5-minute warm-up together, and then we'll go ahead and start with our beginner/impact-free version of the workout. If you want to stick around after that, we're doing the more advanced version of the workout immediately following that. So as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure that you're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. Your arms should be completely relaxed. You're just resting your hand on your head and allowing gravity to do all of the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, so allow your head to fall towards the other shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Your arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well, so don't let your shoulders creep up here by your ears. Shoulders should be away from the ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to allow your chin to fall towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one side to the other, just start to feel your head getting heavier and heavier. Your arms are nice and loose like a rag doll. And with each roll, you're expanding your range of motion, allowing your entire torso to just fall in front of you. Now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just rolling your shoulders back exaggerate that movement. Make the circles as big as you possibly can. And next we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So you're going to begin by extending your arms out to the sides and making small circles, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start expanding your range of motion until finally you're making those circles as big as you possibly can and exploring your full range of motion. Now step your feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend the knees and kind of sweep your hands down in front of you. As you straighten the knees, you're reaching up as high as you can. And each time you bend your knees, you're exploring your range of motion just a little bit more, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. We're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching across your body with your arm. Should feel like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, you're going to step your feet in and we're going to march. Starting with the knees low, but little by little, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. Now we're going to do the same thing with a nice light jog. So just jogging in place, knees are low to start, but gradually you're going to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Next is booty kicks. So it's still just a nice light jog, but with each step, you are bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. For this next one, you may need to hold on to the wall or a chair for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're going to transfer your weight into one leg, pick up the other leg and just start swinging the leg front and back. Nice and loose. We're going to switch sides. So you'll set this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, and just start swinging the leg front and back. You can start low, and then gradually just start expanding your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. We're going to switch legs again. So you'll place this foot down, pick up the other foot, extend the leg straight out in front of you. And then just make a little semicircle, bringing the leg around and back. With each semicircle, I'm lifting my leg higher and higher, and then finally I'm going to drive the knee up in front of me. Use my hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Switching sides, so extending the opposite leg out in front of you, and making a semicircle. Bringing the leg around and behind you. Each time you make that semicircle, you're lifting that leg higher and higher. And for the last two, we're gonna do a hip circle. So driving the knee up in front of you, use your hands to guide it around. And finally, we're going to finish with a quick little hamstring stretch. Trying to keep your back as flat as possible. So if you use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you, can make it a little bit easier to get into this stretch. Maintaining that flat back. You want to try to keep your back as flat as possible so that you really isolate your hamstrings. Makes the stretch a lot more effective. But that's it. That's our 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into this beginner/impact-free version of the workout. My timer is set for 10 rounds of 30-second intervals. That's our 5 minutes. There's no rest interval, so it's going to be super tough. Do your best. Get ready, we are starting with 1 push-up. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So if you're doing knee push-ups, you're gonna put your knees down for 1 push-up. Now come up to stand as quickly as you can. Clasp your hands behind your neck, extend one foot out to the side, and then crunch. Step the foot back in and crunch. So you're twisting your body thoracically, bringing opposite knee to elbow. Do your best to actually Tap your knee to your elbow if you can. One more. All right, with our next work interval, we're going to start with 2 push-ups. So down onto the mat as quickly as you can. 1, 2. Now quickly up to stand. Clasp your hands behind your head. Extend one leg out to the side. Twist your body thoracically and crunch, bringing elbow to knee. Step the foot back in. And repeat on the other side. Now 3 push-ups to start our next work interval. With each work interval, we're adding 1 push-up. 1, 2, 3. As quickly as you can, get up. We're filling the rest of the work interval with our jumpless jumping jacks. Our impact-free prisoner jacks, adding that oblique knee twist. Next work interval, as quickly as you can, down to the mat, knees down. We're starting with 4 push-ups this time. 2, 3, and 4. Stand, filling the rest of the interval with our impact-free prisoner jacks. So instead of jumping your feet out and in, you're stepping them out and in one at a time. Okay, 5 push-ups. Do your best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stand. We've got about 10 seconds left in this work interval. So let's get a few reps in of our, I guess we can call them stepping jacks. All right, we're halfway done with the workout. Let's keep pushing. We're starting this interval with 6 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Stand. We've got about 10 seconds left. Let's push. Seven push-ups. At some point, we're gonna max out with our push-ups. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So when that happens, you're just going to skip your push-ups with the next work interval. Okay, so now 8 push-ups. So if we don't have time in this 30 seconds, after we've completed our 8 push-ups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that 30-second work interval, we didn't have time to do any of our jumpless jumping jacks. So that means that with this work interval, we're skipping the push-ups. We're doing 0 push-ups. And we're filling the rest of this work interval, or the entire work interval, with our jumping jacks, our non-jumping jacks. Then with the next work interval, we're going to start working backwards. So the last interval where we managed to do push-ups, we did 8 reps. So now we're going to do 7 push-ups, or as close as you can get. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We have a few seconds left. Let's try to get in just a couple of reps of jumping jacks. And that's it, that's our 5 minutes, we did it. I did warn you that this was going to be super tough, and it was. So if you are an absolute beginner and you managed to hang in there with me for the entire 5 minutes, amazing job. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together. If you're a beginner, I will walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. You're going to start by standing in the middle of your mat. Now bend down and place both hands flat on the mat in front of you. Step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. Knees down for the push-up if you want to include a push-up. If you've had it with push-ups, you can eliminate the push-up, that's fine. Step the feet in and stand. Come up onto your toes for a calf raise if you can, and if you want and you're able to, you can add a little jump. All right, with that, this beginner/impact free version of the workout is now officially complete. Nicely done. If you feel that you are up for more of a challenge and you want to stick around and try the more intense version of the workout with me, that is next. If you are not continuing on with me, please go ahead and use the chapter markers to skip ahead to the cool down. It's important immediately following the workout that you take a few minutes to cool down. So you can do a quick cool down with me, and then please remember to take a good 15 or 20 minutes or so to stretch immediately after the workout. If you are continuing on with me, let's just go ahead and get right into this more advanced version of the workout. It's going to be ridiculously tough, so just do your best. I can absolutely guarantee you that I will be crying by the end of this 5 minutes. So let's just go ahead and get started. As soon as you're ready, here we go. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So 1 push-up. Now jump or step the feet in, and we're going to fill the rest of this work interval with our prisoner jack plus an oblique knee twist. So your hands are clasped behind your neck, starting with your feet wide apart. You're jumping the feet in, out, and then you're lifting one knee, twisting your body thoracically, bringing opposite elbow to knee. No rest interval. Right into the next work interval. So now 2 push-ups. Stand. Right into our prisoner jack, plus an oblique knee twist. So starting with the feet apart, jumping the feet in, out, lifting that knee, twisting the body thoracically. So now 3 push-ups. Stand, prisoner jack, oblique knee crunch. So with each work interval, we're adding 1 push-up. So now 4 push-ups. Prisoner jack, oblique knee crunch. Five push-ups. Push-ups. So that work interval, I wasn't able to do any jumping jacks. So with this work interval, I'm doing 0 push-ups. Filling the entire 30-second work interval with jumping jacks. And now I'm gonna start working backwards. So I maxed out at 8 push-ups. So with this round, I'm doing 7, hopefully. That's it, that's our 5 minutes, we did it. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you are ready, here we go, final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. If you managed to hang in there with me for the entire 5 minutes, amazing job. That was super tough. And even more amazing if you managed to never max out with your push-ups like I did. I maxed out on round 8. With round 8, I was able to complete 8 push-ups, but I didn't have any time left in my work interval to get up and complete even 1 rep of my jumping jacks. So the goal is to never max out. There are 10 rounds. So the goal is by round 10 that you're able to complete 10 push-ups before the 30 seconds is complete. And even better still, if you have time left over to get up and do at least a couple of reps of jumping jacks. So let me know how you did with it. Let me know where you maxed out, or let me know if you are a superhero and if you never maxed out and you managed to complete 10 push-ups in round 10 and still have time left over to get up and do a couple of reps of jumping jacks. But that's it, that's the workout. Let's go ahead and do a quick little cool down. It's really important to get up immediately after the workout and just keep moving. You can just pace around a little bit, shake out the arms, shake out the legs, and that really is sufficient. You don't need to do much of a structured cool down. It's just important to keep moving, keep the circulation going while you allow your breathing to normalize and while you let your heart rate come down a little bit. So let's just go ahead and do a little light stretching. We did a lot of push-ups today, so let's go ahead and stretch out the shoulders and the triceps. So starting with a quick shoulder stretch, you're going to bring one arm across your body and use the other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Keep moving while you do this. I always just kind of shift my weight side to side, but you can keep pacing. You can be shaking out the legs, and make sure you're continuing to focus on your breathing as well. We're trying to slow down the breathing a little bit, so make sure you're focusing on taking long, slow, deep, controlled breaths. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed while you're doing this stretch, and make sure your shoulder is completely relaxed. Shake it out. We'll get the other side, bringing the opposite arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Your straight arm is completely relaxed. Shake it out. Make sure it's all the way relaxed, and make sure your shoulder is relaxed. If this shoulder is all tense and hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to get the benefits of the stretch. Your muscle needs to be relaxed in order for it to be pliable enough to really stretch it out. Another deep breath. Shake it out. Let's get the triceps. So just bending one elbow, bringing your opposite hand to pull the elbow gently towards your shoulder, making sure that your free hand is completely relaxed. The fingers should be pointing straight down at the ground. So the point is that you don't want this free hand hanging out somewhere up here by your shoulders, shoulder, I should say. So make sure
this arm is relaxed. Again, you need to make sure that your arm is relaxed in order to really feel that stretch in your tricep, and make sure that your free hand is completely relaxed and the fingers are pointing straight down at the ground. Shake it out. Let's get the other side. So bend the opposite arm. Bring your hand up to grab a hold of your elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, feeling that stretch in your tricep. Arms and shoulders should be relaxed. Make sure that your free hand is relaxed. Fingers are pointing straight down at the ground. Make sure you're continuing to focus on your breath and continuing to move. So again, I just kind of shift my weight from side to side, but you can be shaking out the legs or pacing around. Let's finish with a quick quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold on to the wall or a chair or something like that for support. Dining room table, the arm of your couch, whatever's close by. We're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, and then reach back. Grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, and now press your heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, make sure that you are tilting your pelvis forward, kind of tucking your booty underneath you and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. Imagine trying to touch your spine with your belly button. Continuing to press that heel into your booty cheek. As you do that, you'll really feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscle as soon as you combine both of those elements. So let me show you from this side. Let's get the other leg. So bend the opposite knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands and press your heel into your booty cheek. As you are doing that, you're tilting your pelvis forward. So I'm kind of tucking my booty underneath me, and I'm thinking about trying to touch my spine with my belly button. All right, so tilting the pelvis forward, sucking that belly button back, and making sure that as you do that, you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. It really helps to isolate the quad muscles, makes the stretch a lot more effective. So one more time, just shake out the arms, shake out the legs. If you feel that you are still breathing kind of heavily and your heart rate is still elevated, absolutely just take a few more minutes to pace around. You can do a little bit more light stretching. Just keep in mind that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you are taking at least a good 15-20 minutes every day to stretch. If you can do it right now, immediately after the workout, that is going to be the most effective and the most efficient time to do your stretching because your muscles are already nice and warm. Immediately after the workout. You can wait until later in the day. If you don't have time to stretch now, that's fine. It doesn't matter what you do for your stretching routine, and it doesn't matter when you get it done. Just keep in mind that if you are going to put off your stretching until later in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you jump into your stretching routine. You never want to stretch with cold muscles. Warm muscles are more pliable. So you want to make sure that your muscles are warm so that you reduce your risk of overstretching or straining something or pulling a muscle during your stretching routine. Before I begin my stretching routine, I'm going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That's why I have Victoria here. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with these pretty light pink metallic handles. If you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I'm going to reset my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 20 minutes. I'm going to get a playlist going, and I'm going to do 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. The additional cardio is completely optional. It's not technically part of the workout, but I just want you to keep in mind that these little 5-minute workouts, if this is all you're doing today, fantastic. It's always better to do something than nothing. So these little 5-minute workouts are perfect
for days when you have absolutely no time. But if you have a little bit of time today, any of these 5-minute workouts can also make a great warm-up for a cardio session. So a jump rope session, or if you want to hop on the exercise bike or the treadmill for 20-30 minutes or more, or if you have like a nice long run or a hike or a bike ride plan for today, this little 5-minute workout that we did can make a great warm-up for something like that. So there's no limit to different ways that you can incorporate these 5-minute workouts into your fitness routine. If you're the one doing it, it's your workout, so you do it in whatever way works for you. I'm just happy if you're doing it at all. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this little 5-minute workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format of today's workout and how it all fits together, if you have questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications, I am right here to help. So please just ask. If you enjoy these little 5-minute workouts and you would like to see more of them, please remember that I have an entire playlist of 5-minute workouts on my channel. I will link it right there, and we will be continuing to do these 5-minute Fridays every week for the foreseeable future. So that means that I will be continuing to bring you at least one new 5-minute workout a week every week for the foreseeable future. That is going to do it for today. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and I will see you all right back here on Monday. Bye.